Hey, welcome to another live stream where we're going to be talking some new news, especially this Kathleen Kennedy rumor situation that has been spreading today. But before we jump into this, make sure that you go ahead and smash that like button. Share out the links on social media. Let people know that we're live. Having a good discussion. And, if you want to support the channel, consider becoming a channel member or send a super chat. It goes a long way in helping me keep this thing running. It's not required, but, it helps out a lot. With all that being said, I've got a couple of great guests. We've got a common idiot, Matt, here, and Justin is lost. How you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I've been waiting all day to talk to somebody about this Kathleen Kennedy stuff, so I'm ready.
Yeah, I've been hearing the rumors going around, so I'm like, oh boy, this is gonna a lot of people getting their feathers riled up. So,
oh yeah, I couldn't wait to talk to you guys because I know I disagree with a couple of things with Justin on this. Yeah. So I think it's going to be really interesting.
Most of the time, everyone does disagree with me.
But that's a good thing, because I really don't want to always be talking to an echo chamber.
Yeah, and don't want to listen to it either.
Yeah, it's a good way to get a different perspective and start thinking about things from another side.
Civil discourse is always welcome. So
yeah, and hail to the chat! Thank you all for being here. The other day, I believe it was Mikey Sutton let it.
This dude's in here too, man. I can't escape him.
He's like, let's hear Justin get destroyed.
Well, you're in the right place. No, it seemed like Mikey Sutton released a rumor, or I guess a scoop, that Kathleen Kennedy is likely going to have her contract renewed. I guess much to the displeasure. Oh, sorry, I can't speak. The displeasure of many. People are going to have a field day when they hear this. I mean, I'm really not surprised, especially given the past. When they re-signed, the guy running, Alex Kurtzman. I kind of thought that was writing on the wall that they would keep the people they have going forward because they don't want to change or have things being tossed in the air.
Yeah. And I'll give a shout out. I was listening to the live stream earlier, Midnight's Edge. I think it was Tom who said this earlier. A lot of this stuff it's these people are, yes, this is the entertainment industry, but these people are politicians at the end of the day. It's a very political thing. So for as powerful as she is and as much as she's been involved in throughout films, throughout history, and how many people she knows and whatnot, I just couldn't see them just discarding her into the wind. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, she's a very strong, important person. So the fact that they're just saying, that was pretty funny. I laughed earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, just personally, I when they were saying this a long time ago, number one, I was like, we'll see. And honestly, I've always said this as well, that even if they did get rid of her, that doesn't really change much. I think there's always someone right behind her, willing to take the reins and lead the same way she has been doing. It's not like they're just everything's just, gonna get better.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like I was telling Matt backstage, whenever I first started hearing about all this stuff, and obviously when I first started to realize that the sequels, once the Rise of Skywalker came out, I was like, okay, this is kind of trash. And then I started to reassess the other two movies, and I was like, all right, The Last Jedi is pretty trash too. But, I still like it other than the Luke stuff, but it is what it is. The Rise of Skywalker is absolutely god-awful. And then I started to, think about the success of The Mandalorian, the success of Clone Wars Season 7, and I was like, okay, it's obvious that the people that are executive producing these shows are not Kathleen Kennedy. She's not that involved. And I even, I said it in my video today, but she's not even going to be involved in the Book of Boba Fett going forward. She wasn't involved in Bad Batch. So she's not that involved with Star Wars anymore. And that might be because of Indiana Jones. But either way, I started to listen to these people like Doomcock and Midnight's Edge. And I was like, okay, she probably is going to leave. It makes logical sense. And now the last few months, I'm like, you know what, she's probably not going to leave, and it really doesn't make that much of a difference.
You know, I could see the contract being extended till after she finishes Indiana Jones, because that seems to be the natural out point for her. That seems like the one thing she really wants to finish and put her like name on, you know, put that stamp on.
Yeah, I heard somebody, I don't remember where it was reported, but somebody said a while back that Bob Chapek is done with signing long-term contracts for the studio heads. So even if she does resign, it won't be for a long time, but she might just resign again. I don't know.
Yeah, I think she's the type too that she's going to want to go out on her own accord. You know what I mean? And I don't think that's one person that they really want to, you know, piss off or get mad. So I think she'll just go out on her own. Like, she'll retire when she wants to, because, you know, even though they're doing an indie movie now, right, we don't know what could be in the works for indie in the future. That doesn't mean that this movie will be the last forever and they put a cap on it. They could revamp the whole series with a different Indiana Jones. They could do a series. Who knows? And if she wants to be involved in it, those aren't rumors. I'm just throwing out the guesses. But I'm just saying, I think when she decides to go, it's going to be more of a her decision thing. I don't think the company's going to be like, all right, it's time for you to leave. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Well, I think you guys are right about one thing, that she's going to go out on her own accord. Like, I really can't see them actually firing her. It'll be when she decides to retire, because she really is the most powerful woman in Hollywood. I don't think would be any objections to that.
Yeah, I agree.
The one thing that I don't understand that people are saying, though, and I don't think that this should be, and maybe it is, maybe they are just this naive, but the one thing that a lot of people are saying why she's not going to be fired is because all the Star Wars movies made over $1 billion minus Solo. And I'm just like, for one, just the failure of Solo should be enough to get a studio head fired. Like, a Star Wars movie losing money is enough. Especially, like, now it doesn't count because of everything that's going on in the world. It doesn't count now. But back then, Star Wars was kind of really hot at the time. You know, it was kind of just coming back.
Well, it's still hot. It's just they're putting out bad products. If you put out a good Star Wars movie, people will flock to that.
Yeah.
Like, guaranteed.
They flocked to a bad one. 2 bad ones.
Yeah.
Made $1
well,
billion.
and then look at Warner Brothers. I'll use them for an example. Make 0 sense at all. They lose money on literally every single movie that they're releasing now. And I guess, I don't know, apparently that's okay for them. Justin, you saw the reminiscence post that I tagged you in on. I mean, they lost. It was like they made $2 million over the weekend, and it cost them like $67 million to make that movie.
I didn't even hear about that thing.
Exactly.
Sorry, not to interrupt you.
No, you're fine, and that's the point, right? Like, it's now to the point where it's acceptable to lose money because now it's just about the streaming services. So the box office numbers, I feel like, aren't and I don't get. It doesn't make logical sense to me. But if anything, stuff like this and kind of how it is going to protect her anyway. But to Justin's point too, I think now, since they have taken kind of like creative control, like direct creative control away from her from Star Wars, you know, Baby Yoda saved it, saved all that stuff. So, and she had nothing to do with it. So as long as I think in their mindset, if they are going to extend her, it's like, well, as long as she's not really like fiddling around, getting super involved, like, you know, they don't care because she's just a figurehead. She's just signing paper, and you know what I mean?
One of the things that, you know, this drives me a little nuts whenever you know, people throw out these numbers to say, you know, she's made all of this money. Well, one thing they never factor in is the cost, the budget of the movie, and the marketing, because we know that Rise of Skywalker had so many reshoots and was a brutally expensive movie.
Yep.
Like they had like so many TV spots came out for that movie.
Like
that, like 2 or 3 a day.
So I believe once you factor in all those costs, I don't know if it actually like broke even. I'd have to go and take a look, because it's been a while since I read that. Maybe you guys know a bit more than me.
I don't think that they would have spent $1 billion on the movie to make it. Maybe like
they had to reshoot
million.
like half of the film though. Like It did.
Oh, are you
oh,
talking
didn't
about
they?
Are you talking about the last Star Wars movie that came out?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I don't think a lot of that stuff's been released, like information wise, but there was a massive amount of reshoots for that film. So
Yeah, so we never got those final numbers, but we do know how much was reshot.
But let's just say that the original budget was 200 million, and let's just say another 200 million for marketing. Let's just say another 300 million for marketing, and then they spend another 200 million on the reshoots, which is probably more than they spent. Even that's like what, 700 million or 800 million? I forgot what numbers I said, but even 800 million, they're still making 300 million profit. And I think
200 seems low though, for what it costs to make, because they had so much effects going in there.
Well, okay, let's just say 900 million it cost them, which is probably ridiculously too much.
Yes, yeah.
But they're still making about $200 million. So it's not great, but it's still a profit. But I don't know. On paper, you just see $1 billion box office and you're like, oh, success. That's what people think.
Yeah, so someone in the chat is saying it said it lost up to 75 to 100 million.
I can't see that being true, man. I just can't.
Are you talking, is that for Solo or is that for
Rise of
Skywalker?
Right?
Oh, I don't,
Yeah, or Rise of Skywalker. Not talking Solo.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
So,
I thought it made money. Barely, but I heard it had made money. But I don't know.
Maybe it just cracked it, because it's been so long since I looked into those numbers specifically. So maybe it had to do with just the North American release instead of adding everything that happened worldwide.
It says it costs 627 million total.
Is that with reshoots?
That has to be without reshoots, because it says Force Awakens cost total 776 million. So I don't know.
Okay, and then you usually end up doubling the budget for marketing. Like that's usually what they end up.
That's including marketing. There's no way they spend 776 million on Force Awakens without marketing.
Yeah. So it's probably, especially for this movie, they probably didn't actually double it, because most of the movies coming out are more around that 200 mark. So you usually end up doubling it for the marketing costs, and we know how much they were pushing that for such a long time. So there would be a much larger marketing budget in there.
Yeah, I think that's why the Force Awakens cost so much. Because it only had a $250 million production budget, but yet it came out to 776 million total budget. So that's a lot of marketing money.
Yeah, they don't usually release the marketing numbers. So where are you finding out those numbers?
It's on Deadline.
Okay. Well, we'll just
it.
assume that's true. That's not doing well when you then consider how much Disney paid to buy Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think either way too, looking at it now, in my opinion, I think they've kind of turned a blind eye to the Star Wars or the sequel trilogy because of the success that the Mandalorian's done. Like, they know that they're on an upward trajectory when it comes to Star Wars. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I always think of... Oh, wait, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was actually going to ask you guys why you think that, because maybe I'm just a little too jaded at this point, so I'd love to hear your perspective.
On why Star Wars is on an uptrend?
Yeah.
I mean, you can just look at the slate of shows and who's involved with them, and that's really what I'm basing it off of.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, like, Baby Yoda with that ending with Luke was massive, and they're leading up to this really big, like, what's next kind of thing. You have, and they're doing all the member berries, right? So you have, like, Book of Boba Fett. Everybody, mostly everybody loves Boba Fett for the most part, even OG fans. Like, I've always been a fan of Boba Fett, so people are excited to see that. The Obi-Wan series, people are dying to see what they do with that. So there's a lot of excitement coming out, and I think mainly because they are staying away from Disney Star Wars. They are keeping into George's realm of things. So, and they're excited to see, like, okay, what can Disney possibly do with this?
Yeah.
And everybody wants Star Wars content, no matter what. Like, I know we're all burnt out of it. I've been burnt out of it too. But every time they do something Disney, even though it's or Star Wars related, even though I'm kind of annoyed of it, I still am peeking like, all right, I gotta check this out. At least
Yeah.
what it's about. You know what I mean? Like you can't just ignore it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not burnt out on Star Wars. I'm more burnt out on the Disney Star Wars. Like that's, you know, if you give me a good quality one, I will be jumping at that. Absolutely. You know,
in the last couple of years, it's been quality though.
Yeah, the Mandalorian brought me back. I totally stepped out. I stopped caring. After it was The Last Jedi for me, I didn't bother to see Rise of Skywalker because I didn't care. The Mandalorian, I thought it felt a lot more like the original series, especially with the use of practical effects. Like that was a big thing for me. And I know there's story issues. I do. You can pick apart certain details, but there was a feel, especially those first 3 episodes in season 1. Man, that was fantastic. Like that was just fantastic writing. One thing I do wish is for them to end up picking a lane, you know, either have it that real story driven narrative or kind of the monster of the week.
I hate that. I hate it.
Yeah, because they flip back and forth way too much, and it just doesn't seem to work that way.
I just hate the monster of the week. Any show like that, even if it's just sprinkled in here and there, I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Okay, what about the Next Generation?
I don't even know what that is.
Star Trek.
Yeah. Oh, Star. I was like,
he's like, oh, what?
Oh.
No,
I
mean,
Justin.
Look. Here's the thing.
You hurt me.
No, my bad. Look, I'm not a big Star Trek fan at all. I mean, I've seen it, but whatever. But going back to the Star Wars thing, I just hate the Monster of the Week stuff is okay, but not when it's on a weekly release schedule. Like if every couple of episodes was, you know, when it comes to shows like a Star Trek show or something that's already out, and you go back and watch it and you can binge it, and then every couple of episodes it's like just a monster and there's not really that much furthering of the plot for the overall plot. It's all right, but when I wait a week after seeing a baby Yoda for the first time in the first episode of season 1, I'm like, oh my god, a baby Yoda, and then we get to watch him kill this mudhorn and take the egg in the what are those things called?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. You're the expert.
I can't believe the Utini dudes. What are they called?
The Jawas?
Jawas, yeah. Get to watch the Jawas eat the egg. I'm like, what the hell is going on here, man? Like, let's do something cool,
the spiders.
Please. The spider one was awful.
Well, okay, so one of the things, and I'm really going to push you to watch The Next Generation, because that show is fantastic, and it does kind of the Monster of the Week thing really well. And maybe saying Monster of the Week is bad phrasing for that, because it really is episodic. That's a much better term.
Oh, 1987, man, that's too old for me.
No, because it's the writing. It's the writing behind it, especially when you hit season 3. It is some of the best sci-fi writing out there. I don't know. Have you seen that, Matt?
I used to like some. I've seen episodes here and there, but I never got into it as a kid.
Oh,
like I said, it came out like you said, 87. I remember it was up in the 90s when it was really out, and because that's the one with the what's his name as the commander.
Picard.
Yeah, Picard. I mean, it was good. I remember watching it on TV and stuff, but I wasn't a diehard fan. I was always more into Star Wars. But I watch more Star Trek now as I've gotten older because I can appreciate it. When I was a kid, I was like, why? There's so much talking. I was like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care. But now I appreciate it more as a kid or as an adult. I've been trying to go back and watch more of it. Like, I've watched the OG movies. I've watched I think I've watched at least the first 3. I didn't watch some of the old original ones from like the 50s just to get an idea. And some of those are odd. Those are some weird episodes. But yeah, it's all right. It's not bad. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen for sure.
You know, if you get into it, you'll see what is missing from current entertainment, because there's a nuance to the storytelling and the problems. Yeah, it's almost like the way they lay out the issue of the day. they don't generally tell you which is the right and wrong answer. There's, you know, a journey of discovery, and they come to a decision, you know, and it's usually the right one, but there's nuance to why someone is doing something.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's what's missing from Discovery and Picard.
So Yeti, do you think that do you think she'll re-sign, or they're gonna actually keep her back, or do you think this is her final judgment and she's gonna ride off into the sunset?
No, not until Indiana Jones finishes.
When is that supposed to finish? Do we know?
I have no idea.
Not off the top of my head.
Because her contract is supposed to expire, I think they said October.
Yeah,
Correct.
October 31st.
So if they were to do a short term, you'd figure the max would be a year, because it won't take a year to get that film done.
Here's the thing. When it comes to Star Wars, it really doesn't matter anymore if Kathleen Kennedy's there, but she's still going to be ruining everything else. She's still going to be ruining Indiana Jones. But, like, if you just look, there's no way I can know for sure, so someone can always say that this is not true, but if you really just look with an open mind, the only thing that she's really been that involved in is the High Republic, and that's the only thing that all of her disciples have really been that involved in, with, you know, Pablo Hidalgo, and then all those weirdos that she hires with Justina Ireland and Christina Ariel and all of them. That's the only thing that they're really involved in. So even if she does come back to Star Wars, it will just be for the High Republic. It wouldn't be for Filoniverse shows.
Okay,
Yeah.
So I found the release date. It is July 29th, 2022.
Okay, so you figure, yeah, they would probably give her a year contract if she wants to stay just till or whatever. But I don't know. I've always said this. I don't think it really matters her being there or not, because if she does, say she left tomorrow, do you really think they're going to put somebody in charge that's going to just completely fix it and not be on the same political ideology? Look what's going on with Feige and the MCU.
Yeah.
So they're all in line with the same thing. I mean, it doesn't matter. I think they're just going to put somebody in that's just as dumb about things, honestly. I mean, I might be wrong, but I don't know. I don't think she's going anywhere.
No. Oh, sorry. I just lost it.
No, it's all good. I don't think she's going anywhere either, but like I said, I don't think it matters. And then, I don't know. I think that they would give the job to Jon Favreau if he wanted it, but I don't think he wants it. I think that he wants to, like, do other things. I don't even think that he wants to be in Star Wars for that much longer. I know that he's directing the Jungle Book 2 kind of soon, and they're already adding more people onto their group. It's not just Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni anymore. People don't really know this, but Robert Rodriguez is involved in that group now too. He's going to be executive producing Book of Boba Fett. So they're kind of adding more people on. I think Deborah Chow and Rick Famuyiwa will probably be next, and then they'll just have a group of executive producers and writers and directors that they can use. And when Favreau goes off to do Jungle Book 2, Robert Rodriguez will step in to executive produce whatever Favreau can't do while he's gone. Same thing with Robert Rodriguez, because he's not going to want to stay in Star Wars forever. He's going to go off and do other stuff. Favreau can step back in, or Deborah Chow can step in, or Rick Famuyiwa can step in. We're fine when it comes to the Filoniverse. I think once the movies start coming out again with Rogue Squadron, that's when Kathleen Kennedy is going to be a problem again.
Yeah, and I think the different visionaries, too, are going to be an issue because they're not going to mesh. But go ahead, Yeti. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. I finally remembered where I was going to go with this. It was... You'll know when she's finally going to leave when there's actually talk of a replacement. And we haven't got anything like that. There's no rumors circulating about who's going to head up after she goes. Like, that's going to be the first sign.
Who could it be? Like, there's no one there. There's no one that could take the job other than Favreau, who doesn't want it.
Yeah, okay. Does he not want it? Because I always pictured him as, at least I thought I read he really wanted to helm Star Wars. So has that changed, or did I misread something?
I think that if he wanted to be ahead of something in Star Wars, and he would have got the head of creative direction at Lucasfilm instead of Filoni, because I think he's way more qualified. So I think that it would. I think he would have got the job if he wanted it. And if he wants to be a studio head, he could have. He could definitely get a job at Warner Bros. Or something.
See you, Pat.
Oh God.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say. I just don't think too, and maybe this is I don't know. Here's my gut feeling. I don't think that they're going to, if she leaves, replace her position with a male either.
That's true.
I think they would keep a female in charge because they want to stay diverse and all that. But Because I thought there were rumors about her potential replacement. They've said it before on other streams where she was very quiet, wasn't really well talked. I don't remember her name. Her name escapes me, but apparently they already had someone potentially lined up, and it was a female that they were going to put in place of her. I think she was very close to Kathleen Kennedy, but I'm not 100% sure the name, though.
The only one I've heard recently is the one that would be coming after Feige leaves.
Yeah.
That's
she's
the only
even worse.
one.
She's worse than Kathleen Kennedy. She's worse than Feige. It's going to get bad whenever that happens.
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's... Yeah, and if that's the thing, though, like, the stuff that we see going on with Marvel right now with the kind of woke stuff and the representation, like, they're more focused on that. I think eventually it's going to... You're going to start seeing that stream over to Star Wars. Once John Favreau decides to step away, I honestly think you're going to see that more often. That's down the road. I don't think it's immediate, but I think we're going to...
Could Filoni be the person that ends up helming it?
Lucasfilm?
Yeah.
No.
I don't think he's...
Maybe in 10 years.
I don't think he's versed enough now. Yeah.
He's not...
Yeah,
he doesn't have the
because I don't know who else there is.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what they said. And that's what Mikey Sutton said in his article. He was like, they can't fire Kathleen Kennedy because there's no one there to take her job.
It was either going to be, Favreau, and if he doesn't want that, then the only person I could come up with is Filoni, or you go with an outside source and you bring them in.
Yeah, it says it. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go.
Well, the article says as it stands, Kennedy's contract as Lucasfilm president will expire on October 31st. So it stands to reason that Disney will be extending it soon, especially since there is no replacement in sight. And I know that many of you will be shouting one name, Jon Favreau. However, it looks like Favreau is perfectly fine being a showrunner on shows such as The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and Ahsoka, all the other stuff. And he's also directing Jungle Book 2. So he's busy.
What I was going to say is my comment when I said about focusing on representation and all that. I'm not saying representation is bad, but when representation and that is the point of your storytelling versus just actual good stories, that's the issue. When you're focusing more on that kind of stuff.
So. When it's trumping the actual storytelling, that's when it's
when we're focused more on that than the actual story, or you're making that the whole story. That's not good,
because there is no story there, and that's where you see a lot of these new properties failing. When that becomes the focal point, there's no real journey to experience when it's just based on their gender or race.
Yeah,
exactly.
There's movies.
My bad.
Go ahead.
Go ahead and finish. There he is.
Yeah, what's up? I was just gonna say that it would be a very bad look for them to be pushing this diversity representation stuff, and then Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm have already been under fire in the past for not hiring female directors for their movies, for not hiring female writers for their movies. And then if they fire Kathleen Kennedy, who is finally starting to hire some females to do their stuff, they fire her, replace her with a male. That would just go against everything that they've been pushing. So they can't do that.
Okay, but they do that constantly. Because we've seen that with the response to the Scarlett Johansson lawsuit. As soon as that came out, they were firing back, and then you had all the media calling them sexist for this. But they'll say one thing, but they do the complete opposite.
Yeah, but what are they supposed to do in that situation? Just because a woman is suing them, they're supposed to not fight back?
Oh no, I don't disagree. It's just they're not afraid of I think that type of recourse.
But also, too, you got to think Scarlett Johansson, her time there is done. Like, she's run her course. They don't need her anymore. She's not coming back. So that's a route they're willing to cut versus some of these other high-up executives like Leslie Headland and all that. They don't want her to go anywhere. Leslie Headland is somebody that can cause ruckus for them if you look at her stature and the people that she knows in Hollywood versus Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson is just an actress. She can go somewhere else and do the same thing. Leslie Headland knows the ins and outs, and she represents the LGBTQ community. So not only is she female empowerment, but she represents other cultural phenomenons, let's call it that, and it's just a bigger headache for them that they don't
Well,
want to
she knows where all the bodies are buried because she helped bury them.
yeah, well,
So she's got everybody's skeleton in the closet.
she knows where all the teeth are, right?
Yeah. I'm still surprised that she's supposed to be heading up the show. Like that's just going to be a disaster waiting to happen.
Oh, the Acolyte show, yeah.
There's no way that show's coming out. There's no way. I don't believe that show will happen.
I think one of the reasons why it ended up getting announced is because there was such a fierce pushback against her being hired on. So I think they ended up because it wasn't announced through the regular channels the way Disney usually likes to do it. It was basically a leak that came out, and it might have come from Headland herself.
Well, I remember seeing it. I think it was May 4th, a couple of years ago. Whenever they announced the Taika movie, they announced that in the same day. Maybe it was leaked before that. I'm not sure, but I remember they announced it, and all they said about it was that Leslie Headland was going to showrun it, and that it was going to be female-led. And then we later come to find out that this show is called The Acolyte, and it's going to be centered around a dark side character. And I'm like, so you lead with it's show ran by Leslie Headland and it's female led instead of telling us this cool ass concept that you have for this show? Like, what is wrong with you?
Well, because I think that's all they had. It was very much going into that narrative of female empowerment. So when it was announced, it was all about how you have Leslie Headland, who was oppressed by Harvey Weinstein, and she's strong, and yeah, but we all know she was there helping him.
Yeah, I don't know. That shows. I think that's that's another thing too, because wasn't Leslie Headland a direct hire from Kathleen Kennedy? Like, wasn't
yes.
That's gonna be a stain on Star Wars?
Of course,
still, you know what I mean. So like, I feel like we've moved away from Kathleen Kennedy, even though she's still there. But then you got Leslie Headland sticking out like a sore thumb in her show coming up, and it's just because does anyone really pay attention to the High Republic at all? No, like I don't. You know what I mean?
No. That's why I don't think it's gonna come out. I think that so the one thing that I think might save the show is the fact that there's been a lot of rumors recently about a lot of Inquisitors being in the upcoming shows, and maybe even an Inquisitor show coming out itself. And I think if they see that a lot of people are really interested in the Inquisitors and the dark side centered shows, they'll be like, oh, the Acolyte is actually going to be perfect because it's a dark side centered show. I think that might save it, but I think the fact that the High Republic interest is so low, I don't see the show coming out. I think it'd be a waste of money. But Jeffrey said in the chat, I hate to see all white people refusing to see Shang-Chi. Are you dumb? Where have you seen that, dude? Where have you seen that? And if you're talking about me, because I know you hate me and all, I'm going to see it day one. I already bought tickets. Like, you're an idiot.
Okay, well, we do. The reviews are finally out, and it's got a 93% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that I think that has much say in how well the movie actually does. Because, I mean, how many times has Rotten Tomatoes come out with exceptionally crazy high scores from the critics, only to be a massive disappointment? Now, I really do hope that movie is good, though. I believe Robert Meyer Burnett loved it. He absolutely loved the film. Like, that's a good sign right there.
That's what I was gonna say. There are some people out there that like, I don't believe Rotten Tomatoes. That's trash. Like, I don't care anything about what they say or whatever. But when other people that I have respect for what they say are saying it's as good as it is and it's a different feel, then it's like, all right, my curiosity is a little bit there. Like, maybe this actually is good. And I mean, just the whole thing, the whole like Chinese representation. Again, I've watched a lot of kung fu movies before with Asian. Like, this isn't the first movie ever made that has Asian people in it. Like,
that confused me.
Jackie Chan's been around forever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people are losing their mind. It's like there has been things prior that came out before 2021. Like, there's been movies for years that we've all watched.
Some exceptional films.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? So like, just that whole I've never watched movies like, oh, there's this types of people are in it. I don't want to watch that. No, normally I watch it like, man, this trailer sucks. This story looks bad. I don't want to see it, but the trailers have looked all right. You know, I don't know much about Shang-Chi to where I'm interested in it, but you know, I because of all the hype it's been getting, I'm kind of like, do I want to check it out? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of gotten me to it's brought interest into me, at least.
The only reason why I want to see it right now is honestly because of Robert Meyer Burnett and his review.
Yeah,
and also in addition to all the other ones, because you know you can't really trust them. But the fact that Rob came out and said that, and then it kind of goes along with all the other reviews as well, it starts to make me think maybe this movie is actually pretty good.
It's just annoying when the review starts off about, oh, this is a historical moment. Like, no, Jet Li was kicking ass back in the 90s. I remember getting tickets like day one for any movie he would put out. Like, I loved his films. And Jackie Chan, if anyone hasn't watched some of his old stuff, like Legend of the Drunken Warrior. I think that's the title name. Sorry.
Well, even Bruce Lee, man. Bruce Lee. So, those movies back in the day were so good.
Jackie Chan was hardcore good at fighting. Like, if you look back at his old films, they have to slow things down because of how fast him and his team are hitting each other. Like, he did all his own stunts.
Yeah.
Like, that guy is a badass. Drunken Master. Okay, sorry. I was confusing a couple different titles all at once.
If Shang-Chi isn't a triumph, I'm going to be pissed. That's all I got to say.
What does that even mean? Who walks out of a movie
I know.
and says, this was such a triumph of a movie?
Yeah.
I think Nerdrotic posted that in response to one of these articles about how the movie was so well because it did representation right, rather than saying why the movie was good.
Yeah. I saw a lack of that in.
That's a good sign. Like,
that is a good sign.
I want I want that. That is what I want to see. I really want to see this come true. And if it's as good as some of the people are suggesting, man, that's even better.
Now, you think that's going to be better than the Eternals?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Even before these reviews came out, I think it was going to end up being better than the Eternals.
Now, I still think Shang-Chi will do decent at the box office, but that trailer that got leaked yesterday completely killed all momentum for those two movies, man. Everyone's like, what?
They're already marketing two movies at the same. Yeah, I know. It's actually hilarious. And then I think even Rob called it a triumph too. So that's why I was like,
that must
what's
be
going on?
A certain card, like, hey, when you talk about this, here, slide this into your little, like, can you please? Here's your free sandwich, your goodie bag. Just make sure you say triumph. Thanks.
Everybody's handing out free stuff. They're just like, how you doing? This was a triumph.
Yeah.
He's like nailing it into your head.
The code word. We know you're on
what the hell was I talking about?
That they're marketing two movies right now.
Oh, yeah, they're already marketing.
Trailer.
Yeah, they're dropping a Spider-Man trailer in like an hour.
Nuclear bombed both of those movies. Like, everyone now, all you hear is everyone's like, "Oh my god, new Spider-Man!" Like, what's Shang-Chi? Who's that?
What if it might work out in their favor though? Because it might just get people hyped up for Marvel in general, and they're like, "Oh, I can't wait for Spider-Man, but all I have right now is Shang-Chi, so let's go see Shang-Chi."
You know, Kevin Feige though went into his closet and pulled out a rifle and was gonna find the person who leaked the trailer though.
Dude, I was scared about making the video about it. I was like looking behind me for Kevin Feige.
Oh
I was
yeah,
like, I'm not
if you
touching
showed
that.
any clips, oh, you were done.
I
was
had
showing
like-
up in black Vans, and you were getting like a black hood put over your head, and you were disappearing.
Yeah. I'm worried about the guy that leaked it. The guy that had the watermark over it.
Oh yeah. Well,
Because you know how whenever people get like screeners or whatever, they have like their name watermarked into it. So like they'll have like it's like burned into the background. So if anyone gets that copy, they'll know who it's from.
Yep.
It had that on there. So the guy is done.
Well, either he did it or someone leaked it, like stole it from them and leaked it or something.
I think either way, just for him allowing that to happen, he's finished.
Is there any word on what camp he was in that released it? Like, did he work for any of the companies like Sony, or is it just some guy?
He did the VFX for Ragnarok, I know for sure, and maybe.
Oh yeah,
God, he is never working again.
Yeah, he's done. Unless it was a hack, unless they somehow hacked either whoever sent it to him, or maybe they hacked him. I don't know.
If I was that guy, I'd be like going to all my friends, like, quick, do you know anyone who's a hacker? We got to make it look like my computer was compromised right now. Because you know he's coming.
Hasn't Marvel been trying to, or has really been trying to beg to China to get Shang-Chi to release there? Aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that could have been, didn't the Chinese hack Sony a long time ago? Remember all that stuff going on years ago?
Oh, years ago, but that's a little too far back for this one.
Well, no, I'm saying if they've done it once, this is definitely going to hurt Marvel.
So this is when the guy's defense, it was China. China hacked me.
Well, I know Sony's can't be happy because Sony has involvement in this movie as well because they own the rights to Spider-Man still.
Well, yeah, this is one of the Sony's biggest movies. Like, it's one thing for Marvel, for this to happen to Marvel, when Marvel has, we have 3 movies coming out in the next 4 months for Marvel, or 5 months, whatever it is. But Sony got some other movies, like they have Morbius and Venom or whatever, but Spider-Man is their movie. Now,
okay, is it really bad on for Sony? Because I think it's bad for Marvel.
That's true.
And those Disney movies, like for Shang-Chi and the Eternals, I don't think it does anything to damage Spider-Man or Sony.
It definitely overshadows the 2 movies that they're trying to promote now. And I think of the 2, they're wanting the Eternals to be more of a success than Shang-Chi, just due to, the cast of Eternals versus Shang-Chi, in my opinion, at least.
Now, were any of you guys excited about that? About the second trailer from the Eternals?
Yeah, I thought it made me way more excited for the movie than I was previously.
It piqued my interest a little bit more. I was like, okay, at least I know what they're gonna be talking about. You know what I mean?
I think that Shang-Chi is probably gonna be a very grounded story, about as grounded as Marvel can get nowadays, and then it might actually be a well-told story. Whereas Eternals is probably just going to be kind of like Infinity War, where it's going to be just cool stuff happening, nonstop action, stuff like that. Not grounded at all. So I think that's why I'm way more excited for Shang-Chi, because I don't like those types of movies.
The Eternals for me... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, please go ahead, please.
I was going to say, that trailer, for some reason, maybe I was completely off on this, but it really reminded me of like a Zack Snyder-ish film, with the Superman-like eyes and the way he was flying, and it felt like a little bit of a darker tone. It wasn't like a normal Marvel movie, so it felt like they were going, which I don't think that's smart for them if that's the route, because I like the Zack Snyder movies, don't get me wrong, but not all of them. But I just feel like they're so right or left, in the sense like people either love them or hate them. There's no in between. So the fact that they're kind of changing and I know they've said they were going to change the way they were doing Marvel movies going forward, but I don't know. It definitely seems a little bit more interesting than what it was.
I think, I don't know this for sure, but I'm pretty sure Chloe Zhao, who was directing Eternals, came out and said that Zack Snyder is like a big inspiration of hers. So that's probably why.
There doesn't seem to be anything wrong with that, because it really did look exactly like what Zack Snyder was doing.
Yeah, it did. I think it looked really
eyes, good. So had no issues with that. It's just, I don't know, that the movie still didn't excite me. It's, that first one was rather boring, and it looked very drab. It was kind of the colors were flat.
Yeah. But I think that the flat colors, like the natural lighting, or even sometimes it's really dark.
That was not natural.
What do you mean? Eternals?
Yeah. At least from the scenes that stood out in my mind.
Well, I don't think it's actually natural lighting. I think they're trying to make the lighting look natural, but it looks very natural to me. And I think that makes all the effects stand out a lot.
Yeah, maybe I gotta go rewatch that part, but I don't know. Still, overall, I know there's a whole dance scene in the Eternals, and that immediately, as soon as there's a dance scene in a comic book movie,
are we talking about the same movie? I think we're talking about different.
I don't remember.
You guys don't remember? Oh, okay, I gotta find this up. Otherwise, I'm just talking out my ass.
What are we?
I don't remember a dance scene in I remember he had.
I am looking this up now because I got to make sure.
I don't know if there's a dance scene.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
okay.
watched another movie.
No, Kumail teases Bollywood dance scene in the Marvel movie. The Eternals has a Bollywood dance scene.
Oh, like
That is happening.
Oh,
I
but
thought
was
you
it in
meant
the
in the
trailer?
yeah.
No, okay, it wasn't in the trailer. I was talking
okay.
about the movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
I thought you meant in
yeah.
the trailer.
I haven't
Oh,
looked at
okay,
anything
okay.
in this movie.
I was like, what movie did you watch?
I was like, I did not see dancing in the trailer.
Like, man, why is this all taking place in India the whole time? I don't see Angelina Jolie.
I think a problem with the interest for Eternals as well is it looks like an Avengers movie without us caring about any of the characters because we don't know any of them yet.
Yeah, that's a big issue when you have the ensemble cast.
Yeah.
Well, and then the problem too is if you're going to market the Eternals, right? Because again, I think a lot of people don't know who the Eternals are. So when you Google the Eternals and look up what they look like, you're like, am I Googling the right
Yeah.
thing? Because everybody's different and it's
Yeah.
all changed. It's nothing, you know what I mean? They pretty much either gender swapped or race swapped everybody or changed it all around. So it's like, what am I looking up here? You know, it's like we don't know what to expect now. At least with Spider-Man and everyone else, you have an understanding of what it is.
I was trying to watch a breakdown. I think it was New Rockstars was doing a breakdown of it, and they kept pulling up pictures of these people, and I was like, wait, that has to be wrong. That's not who they're showing on the screen right now. And I was like, oh, there's a
And
gender swap.
I know they do that. They've done that with a ton of characters, right? It's not the first one, but it's just crazy that how much they change these characters for today's check in the box kind of things.
Yeah.
And speaking of, that actually will bring up a good point. Did you see everyone freak out about that what if?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Image? I thought that was just hilarious. To the
Was that fan made? That was fan made?
yeah, that was a fan.
Yes,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Here,
And,
I actually, I screen grabbed one of them. Okay, let me bring this up. Where is it?
It's just so crazy how they freak out over stuff like that. But if it's going, I gotta choose my words carefully here. But whenever the race swaps go in any other direction, it's totally fine. But when it's in
Yes.
that direction, it's
Yeah,
outrage.
everybody flips out, and
Yeah.
that's the hypocrite issue that I have with it. Is that it's okay if it goes one way, but if it goes the other way, then it's automatically like this man needs to be arrested. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
no,
So, are you guys able to see this?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so these two posts were taken 8 minutes apart.
Well, go ahead.
No, I wanted to make sure you could read it.
Yeah, and that what I was gonna say is that, like, what if I've seen the second episode and that whole story is such a waste of time. Like they could have done something so much better for him, but just to make him a white or a black Star-Lord made no sense. Like there's so much you can talk about it, but
No, and then the big change is like, well, he talked the genocidal maniac into not killing everyone.
yeah, he was obviously a better Star-Lord. He wouldn't have had technically he shouldn't have had an accent anymore. And two, he shouldn't have had the name Star-Lord because Star-Lord got his nickname from his mom. So why is he still called Star-Lord? But
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Wasn't
go ahead.
wasn't he complaining he didn't want to use that name anymore?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean,
No, there was someone that he said Marvel has always been white until Black Panther. No, Blade is a Marvel character that came out a long time ago and was an amazing movie. I watched those things so many,
that
at
was
least
in
the
the
first
90s.
two.
Yeah, all three
back
of them
in
were
the
really good.
man, and Wesley Snipes kicked ass in those films. I can't
probably
tell you
means
how
the
many times I
MCU though.
rewatched those. Sorry?
He probably means the MCU though.
It's still a Marvel superhero film, and they're going to be bringing him into the MCU. That's in an upcoming phase, and there's planned depending on how well the next Blade movie does. They're thinking of either having a follow up with a team up between Ghost Rider, who is it? Moon Knight.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And the Punisher. Like that
But
is going to be so
what
good
I
That'd
wanna
be really
to do.
cool.
I do want to so I want to with Jeffrey, like, no one's saying they have an issue with representation or black character. Like, that's not what anybody's saying here. What the argument was, when you race swap the opposite way, everyone loses their mind and claims it's like, this man should be arrested, this is ridiculous, this is an outrage. But when I say, hey, Batgirl should stay white because she's always been white and she's Commissioner Gordon's daughter and he's white, and everyone's like, you're a bigot. It's like, well, no, you can't have it both ways. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you can have any kind of character you want, but just make original ones. Or why don't you honor the original black characters? That there's actually a lot of black characters, DC
There's a ton.
and Marvel, that they don't promote, and they'll openly say, well, they're not popular, so we don't want to do that. We'd rather just race swap, and that's dumb. I think that's disrespectful to the black characters.
Well, the thing is, they always have that source material excuse. They're always like, well, they have a different version of whatever character it is that is this color. And the crazy thing is, I'm pretty sure somebody, I'm looking at it right now. There's a white version of Black Panther in the comics.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, there is.
Should be totally fine.
I think one of the character designs, like one of the original ones. But back to what Matt was saying. Yeah, it's not the issue that they're any black superheroes. Like, I would love to see some of the original ones that they created on screen. I just want them to, respect the canon. And there's a reason why a lot of these adaptations are failing, because they're making changes that end up hurting the movie as a whole. You could look at Snake Eyes for that, because they race swap that and it changes the meaning behind his character. He was an outsider and everybody hated him, because he was being trained in these in the martial arts, and so that sets up kind of the antagonist in this,
Right.
In the film. So by changing that, you change the entire context.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like the outrage over What If is a little bit too much, though, because I think it's just supposed to be, like fun cartoons. I knew what it was going to be, and I'm sure that a lot of you already knew what it was going to be. It's what if every man was a woman, and what if every white dude was a not white dude. That's what it was always going to be, and we knew that going in. But the stuff that people are picking apart inside of these shows, it's like, all right, man, it's a what if show. Like, let's calm down. It's just a fun cartoon on Disney Plus that if people can see past all the race and gender swaps, they'll probably be able to enjoy. Like, let's just let it slide. Understand that it's trash and that they only made it for one reason. That's to get a quick buck off everyone and to race and gender swap everyone. But let's let the other stuff slide a bit.
I just want to address this. Nobody is saying not having them. I'm saying use some of the original characters that are in the canon of Marvel. Put those front and center. I would love to see that, because they're like Matt said, there are a ton of diverse characters in their catalog. It's just Disney and Marvel have come out and said they're not popular enough.
Yeah, and
Like,
he
that's the
actually
issue.
made the argument earlier about Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Like, not a lot of people knew them and they made them popular. Well, there's plenty of black characters that already exist that they can make popular. The problem is a lot of them, they don't want to do that. And or the other option, I know this is crazy for people to understand, but we can make new ones. Like, why did we just all of a sudden stop making superheroes, like brand new ones? Like, did every creative mind just fall off the face of the earth and no one can make new ones anymore?
Well, it's a lot easier to just swap the gender or race and call it a new character than to actually make a new character. So
Yeah, because that would take creative work, and I think they've all kind of run out of that.
Because at least me as a fan, right? So I like to, when I watch these movies, if they're bringing up characters that I don't know, I want to go research them and look up their comics and then maybe buy the comic book runs that they were in. Like, perfect example is like Invincible. I didn't know anything about Invincible. I heard of it a long time ago, never looked into it. I was like, Robert Kirkman, yeah, it's cool. But then when I watched the show, I was like, oh man, this is awesome. And now I want to look into the comics, be like, all right, how does it differ? What
Yeah.
else is there? So that's what they should be using to kind of mend the gap between the movies and the comics, but they don't do that. They're not
Yeah,
trying to do
and
that.
like you said, with Guardians of the Galaxy, it wasn't originally very popular. People didn't know, but that goes back with Iron Man 2. He wasn't an A-list character for them until that movie came out. When that movie came out, like Robert Downey Jr. was, an absolute fantastic pick that blew the role out of the water. And Jon Favreau did an incredible job with that film, and it made Iron Man into an A-list character. Like now he's the top of everyone's head. So they are able to do it again. And yes, Black Adam is DC, and he's also a black character. Like, so that it 100% fits. They were going to go change his name from Black Adam to like what was it like? It was something
I
ridiculous.
forgot the other name.
It was like Bladum, or it was something so bad until The Rock stepped in and like, no, the character is called Black Adam. That's what we're gonna do. Like, he put a stop to that because DC was gonna change it.
Yeah, and well, that's another part too that I don't like. So like, I'm glad that they're doing things on like the Blue Beetle, right? Which is the Blue Beetle's Hispanic and whatnot. But what sucks is they're making them HBO Max direct. They're not giving them theatrical releases. And I mean, I guess whatever financial reason you want to say that, right? But just make us aware of those characters. I'm all about it. Like, why give them their time, But
that's someone also just mentioned this.
that's the best Green Lantern.
Yeah, DC should honor Jon Stewart's Green Lantern. Yes, bring him on. Okay, but we do know why they aren't going to do that, and that's because of the Ryan Reynolds version of Green Lantern. Because that movie did so bad, WB is terrified of putting him back in the universe. Like, Zack Snyder.
Yeah, he was going to. Zack Snyder was going to do it, but
he filmed it. Yeah, he filmed it.
Didn't they say the reason they didn't let him do that though was because we have big plans for him?
No, okay, that's not what I heard. What the reason why is because they didn't want to put they didn't want anyone to associate the Justice League with the Green Lantern. Like that.
Yeah, I would have.
That's what I heard.
Been a way better ending.
Oh my god, it would have. That's what got replaced from was Martian Manhunter.
Yeah,
that's who was at the end. Yeah, so that was supposed to be Green Lantern, and that would have made a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope. I mean, I have no faith in what Warner Brothers is going to do with any DC entity because they're horrible. But I would love to see a great Green Lantern movie. They could. The possibilities are there. It's got to be in the right hands to do it. But
and for an entire universe too, there are so many stories to tell. Like there is a diverse world right there. You've got all these lanterns from everywhere in the universe, every species you can think of. Like, it's endless, and the amount of villains that you could play around with. You could have your own universe just from the Green Lantern.
Well, and on the flip side too, I will say this: maybe this is unpopular. I don't know. I didn't like Tom Hardy as Bane. I don't think he should have been Bane. Like, Bane was more. Bane was always, as far as I'm from the comics and stuff, has always worn like the luchador mask, and he's been like Hispanic. So they should have stayed true to that, but they didn't.
Like Dave Bautista, I think a lot of people would have liked to see him. He's got the build for it.
I would have much rather have seen that, because honestly, I don't even like that third Batman film in that trilogy. After part 2, I don't acknowledge the third one really, because I didn't care for it that much.
There was a lot of flaws. And that is a good example of a character switching the other way that shouldn't have happened, because Bane really should have stayed Hispanic. And there's a lot of depth to his character.
Yeah. Oh, there's so much they could have done, and that's the thing. I really don't like race swapping of any kind, either way. I was laughing at the Black Panther one just due to the fact of how many people were losing their mind on there, and they were saying that this person should literally be arrested for making that. I mean, if you read the comments, it was pretty volatile. Which I just found. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. This was something I was just about to bring up too. And Soul Assassin just reiterated it. Bane was incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
He wasn't just this muscular force destroying things. Like the guy was so terrifying because of how smart and how lethal he was. Like he would have been a fantastic character that you could have had some of that real representation from.
Well,
please go ahead.
I was going to say, Bane, if anything, Bane is a character, in my opinion, that deserves his own movie as the main villain, not as kind of like a secondary villain or like a henchman. You know what I mean?
Yes. Oh, I am so with you. He's always been that side character, and he shouldn't be.
He broke Batman's back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he definitely deserves more than what was given to him in that film. And again, I like the first two films of that. I didn't care for the trilogy. And I know we're kind of off track here on topics, but I believe the third one was actually going to be the trial of the Joker before Heath Ledger passed away, and then they changed the storyline.
Yeah, that was a big. The Joker was going to continue if he didn't pass.
Yeah, which that was a shame, but
it really was. You know what other character I really want to see? Oh, actually, there's a couple, but one of the main ones is Mr. Freeze, because I don't think DC has done him justice on film. If you look back at
Arnold was like the best
Arnold
Mr. Freeze of all time. I couldn't even say it with a straight face.
That is another character you could have a standalone movie for, and you don't even have to have it as Batman versus Mr. Freeze. You could tell the story of his descent into kind of the criminal underworld, because he was doing it to save his wife. It wasn't for wealth. He was doing it to try and find ways of keeping her alive. And he is such a nuanced character that is not, not given enough respect in films.
Yeah, and there's a lot of characters in DC villains that are so good, yet they're not popular, so they don't talk about them. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of villains that they can explore. Exactly. So, like Clayface. Clayface would be menacing if you could do that, but you got to have the right visionary to pull that off.
And Hush,
yeah,
or the Court of Owls.
Yep.
That would be another one that you would that would be fantastic on film.
Yeah, it's got to be, again, for those, you have to have the right mind and the right visionary to bring that to life, because someone like Clayface, I could see someone ruining that big time. It would be like with Sandman. Yeah, well, I was thinking more of like the horrendous Riddler and Two-Face.
Oh God. Yeah.
I could see them doing stuff like that, which was just terrible.
They would make him out into something silly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think people would really like to see Hush.
Yeah. Go ahead, Justin.
I was just gonna say I literally have no idea what y'all are talking about. That's why I'm so quiet. I don't know.
Oh God, sorry.
I don't know. I don't know anything about DC characters, man. I don't like that universe, not too much at all.
Oh, then there are some books that you should read, because that will end up changing your opinion.
Yeah, the movies really put a bad taste in my mouth. I'm not gonna lie. Every couple of years, I'll watch a DC movie, and I'm just like, yeah, that was trash, and I'll just not watch another one for like a couple of years. Green Lantern was one of them. And then,
okay, I mean, I cannot argue with that.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. The first Batman movie that Christopher Nolan did was cool, but I haven't liked many other Batman movies. It's just like,
you didn't like The Dark Knight?
The Dark Knight was good, yeah. But The Dark Knight Rises,
no,
yeah,
that was
that one.
Yeah, I don't. And I also just don't like Batman as a character. One movie.
Oh, get off my screen! Get off!
It's just a boring character, man. Like,
Oh God, no,
Wait.
no, we are not having that here.
Wait, who's the boring character?
Batman.
You just said Batman. Oh,
That's
oh,
I don't know.
my soul, my soul
I don't know if
hurts
he's
right now.
boring, but I mean, no, I will. So I will say this: the story's been done so much, and that's why I lean more into Zack Snyder's Batman. I want the old man Batman, the veteran PTSD Batman who's seen some stuff, and you know what I mean. Like, I would love to see that Robin getting killed. You know, like the death of a family. That would be great. How that affected Batman, or getting into even Marvel, like an old man Spider-Man. Let's see him, 15 years into being Spider-Man, and how that works out. Like, I would just a different take on it,
I've been saying this forever. Having Michael Keaton come back to play Old Man Batman, it would be perfect. Like, he's too old to keep doing this. He's got to get a replacement. I still think you bring in Mark Hamill to do an old Joker. Oh God,
Live
I think
action?
that would be good. Yes, yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't know about that.
I don't know if he would do it.
Come on, man, come on.
No, I don't know.
He's got the voice. You could do the makeup right. Like, he's a good actor.
Maybe he would have to lose some weight, though. I think.
Well, and there's different takes. People weren't that excited. At least I don't remember them being that excited about the way Joaquin Phoenix was portraying it till it came out. Then they totally changed their mind.
I was super excited for it. The lead up.
Okay, maybe I'm misremembering, or just I remember reading a couple people like, oh, this makeup is trash, but it turns out to be one of the best iterations.
Yeah, people are always gonna find something to complain about like that, man. Always.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you remember when Heath Ledger's Joker was leaking, people were hating that at first. The makeup and the scars, they're like, "What is that? The Joker, like, well, that's garbage."
Oh yeah,
and then
sorry,
no,
I
go
thought
ahead,
you
go ahead.
finished. He got so much hate. Yep. Everyone came out to said Heath Ledger is a terrible pick, and this is on the back of a couple silly movies that he did. That night one,
Brokeback Mountain.
No, not that one. He played a knight that was.
Oh,
it wasn't
Tale.
a good.
A Knight's Tale.
Yes, that's it. But man, when he came out on screen, it changed everyone's opinion right there.
Yeah, that's why I don't look into that stuff too much. I just kind of wait for I'm like, I got to see it for, you know what I mean? Get kind of a reaction a little bit. I try not to judge too badly, but
I think that we've gotten better at that, though. Like, I think as a whole, as fans of movies, everyone has kind of gotten more open to certain castings. Like, even the Robert Pattinson Batman thing. Imagine, like, 5 years ago, if that would have happened, the backlash would have been way worse than it is now. But now we're kind of more open to the stuff.
Yeah, I'll wait to see what he does, because I do know he's a good actor. If you've seen any of his recent films, he's put in a lot of work to distance himself from
Twilight.
From Twilight. So he does take things serious, but then there's the rumors that he wouldn't work out for it, and I don't know what's true there, but I want to see it.
Does he really need to?
For Batman, yeah.
You can just have a suit on,
shape.
though. Huh?
The suit. He's not a superhero. Like he trains like every single day to make sure he's a step above.
Can y'all hear that thunder?
I just heard it now, yeah.
Dude, it's so loud. It's crazy.
It sounded like somebody was moving a pan.
Dude, this is like crazy weather. What?
Oh, man.
What's up, man?
As Solasan said, do you sparkle, Batman? You will.
Well, I was going to say earlier, one movie that I did like from DC, actually, I didn't mind the first Wonder Woman. I thought it was actually kind of good. And then another one was Man of Steel. I thought
I enjoyed that one too.
Yeah. I know that one's kind of like polarizing. Some people hate it, some people love it.
I don't know. I really like Batman versus Superman. A lot of people hate that movie. I like it. And I know everyone, I get it. That's that warehouse scene of Batman fighting. You will not see a better fighting Batman scene probably in a movie. That was maybe Robert Pattinson might be able to top that, but that scene alone is insane. I know a lot of people like Batman doesn't kill people, blah, blah, blah. I know, but it was still a badass scene regardless.
Like I think you could find good things, in most movies. There's scenes I like.
I guess he doesn't
really,
like Batman vs Superman.
Yeah, he does.
No, because that is but that is Batman's main rule. He will not kill, and changing that.
That's lame, man. Kill somebody.
No, oh God, 'cause this is so much to the core of his character and why he's so interesting. Because he could put a stop to all these villains. Like the Joker is constantly causing him issues, and if he just ended it, he would solve so many of the problems. But like that goes against the code. That's what evil people do.
This Batman is based off of Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, which he kills the Joker in. So he does change his code in that universe of Frank Miller. So which is why this Batman is a little bit different. A lot of people don't realize that he's not just a normal, you know what I mean?
Sorry, which book?
The Dark Knight Returns, or I'm pretty sure it's Frank Miller's novel.
Yeah. Okay, I know I read that.
Yeah,
but it was a while ago.
It's the same style Batman.
Yeah.
And yeah, he kills the Joker in it at the end. He battles obviously he battles Superman too.
Is it implied death or like? Because it's been so long since I read that. I know I own it too.
I'm pretty sure he snaps his neck.
Oh damn! I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. Is there anyone else that can tell us yay or nay if that happened? Because I'm really not sure right now. Not to refute you. It's just
no, you're fine. But that's what he was based off of. Is that grittier Batman, the darker Batman who doesn't care? Like he was, breaking people and hurting them intentionally. Like he didn't care anymore. He was to the point where he was like old man Batman, and he almost wanted to die at that point. You know what I mean? Because he saw the city going to crap. So that's why I like that Batman. It's more of a realistic take on Batman where he just stops caring, especially the loss of Robin and all that. I can see him doing that kind of stuff.
But then you have to show that to get there. You can't just start there.
Well, no, that's why he didn't do the best justification, but by seeing the Robin suit with the ha jokes on you, and they've alluded to him losing people and whatnot. But still, Zack Snyder didn't do it justice. They needed to have a single Batman movie before Batman versus Superman to tie the two. Like to have that be the Batman movie probably wasn't the smartest idea.
This was the book I was thinking about too. The Killing Joke.
That's implied.
It's implied. It's not shown. So there's, and that one is such a dark story that you could almost see him descending down that path to kill. Okay, we gotta bring something back for Justin.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't even know what the hell's going on.
Okay, I know I got asked a long time ago if we're excited for Carnage, and the answer is absolutely yes. Oh my God, yes. I think Woody Harrelson is a good pick, because he's got that crazy factor. I have been dying to see Carnage since I was a kid, and Venom. What about you guys? How about Justin, since he hasn't talked?
I'll be honest, man. I haven't seen the first Venom, so.
Oh God! What? You are hurting me today. You are hurting me so bad.
I don't want to say this because I know I'm gonna get people mad at me, but I'm not a fan of Spider-Man either. No, look. The Tobey movies were good. The first two Tobey movies were good, and even Spider-Man 3, I actually like more than most people. Obviously, you can make fun of it, but it's a guilty pleasure type movie. But the Spider-Man universe, I'm not that big of a fan of. But I heard good things about Venom, so I'll probably watch it soon.
The third one was really supposed to be significantly different than what ended up happening, and Venom was only added in, and it's also why he doesn't look like he fits properly in the film, because he was added in way into production when one of the producers or higher up came out and it said, "Oh, Venom's this really popular character. You have to have him in there," because the main focus is supposed to be Sandman, and
Yeah.
you could see there's a lot more development there. So he, the character and the casting for it, it was so ham-fisted into the third, it didn't work. The original vision was going to be way different.
Yeah. I just like Toby so much as Spider-Man. I guess I think that if I would have seen Spider-Man 3 as an adult first, then I would have been like, yeah, that's trash. But since I saw it when I was a kid and I liked it because I didn't know that a movie could even be bad back then, I just watched movies and enjoyed them for what they were. I still have like a good feeling about it whenever I think of Spider-Man 3. But the first 2 Spider-Man movies with Toby are some of my favorite superhero movies at all.
The second one's probably one of the best out there.
Yeah, for sure.
So Spider-Man's one of my favorite Marvel characters of all, always has ever since I was a kid. I love.
Oh, good. Now you just pissed off like a Marine.
No, you didn't. You didn't piss me off at all. I'm actually gonna probably end up pissing you off.
He's hiding it. He is hiding it. He's silently cleaning his gun.
No. The first Tobey Maguire movie I loved. The second one I liked. The third one was obviously, but it wasn't. I still like it because I love Tobey Maguire's version of Spider-Man. I think that the first and second movie are the best Marvel movies ever. I think even with the MCU stuff, it beats all those movies. Yeah. But I have a little bit, I've loved those movies, and I remember going to see them in theaters. But I haven't seen Venom, and the reason why I haven't seen Venom is because I don't like how they changed the story, or Venom's, like becoming Venom. Like Venom is intertwined with Spider-Man. If you don't have Spider-Man in there, it's like, what are you doing? So it pissed me off that they did that, and I don't know really understand the reason why, but I just have no desire to see it.
Well, I think it would have had to do with the rights issues. Since they've been making deals with Disney and all that, like they couldn't have that in there. But you do have most of the core of his origin, because coming back on a spaceship and all that, like that part all happened.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? My thing is, if you're not going to do it right, don't do it at all. And I know why they did it, to make money, but because they didn't do it right, it irritates me because I really like Venom. Venom's an extremely important character to Spider-Man. So when you do it that way, I was just like, I don't really give two shits.
Eventually, I think we could end up seeing that happen. I really hope we do. But I would highly suggest
Tom Holland. Yeah. I do not like Tom Holland.
I don't even think it's his fault, in my personal opinion. I just don't like the movies. I just think they've been bad movies so far.
Yeah.
I just don't like what they turned Spider-Man into. Like,
he's
like a sidekick,
I'm with you guys. I'm not a fan of Tom Holland and those Spider-Man movies. And I thought it was crazy because I remember hearing all this fanfare, like, "Oh, he's the best one yet." And but I was so bored in that first one.
Aunt May should not be a MILF. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, Aunt May should be an old woman making, not like, you know what I mean?
Hey,
I was thrown off. I was so thrown off when I saw that. I'm like, oh, like, does he have a sister now? Like, oh no, that's Aunt May. Oh god damn, she can get it.
I know.
That wasn't Aunt
Uncle
May.
Ben's gone. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. So yeah, am I that excited for Carnage? Not really, just because of what they did with Venom. I mean,
well, you have to see the film. Like,
yeah, but there's no Spider-Man.
No, go and watch it. I think you guys will both enjoy it. Like, I just watched it again. I don't know, 1 or 2 weeks ago. Like, it's an enjoyable film. It's fun.
I have a feeling I would hate it.
I'll probably like it because I don't know anything about the source material, so I'll probably like it.
Is it on any streaming? Probably not.
Yeah, I watched it on Netflix.
Is it on Netflix?
At least in Canada.
Yeah, it ain't on American Netflix.
I say, there you go. Canadians, they give you more content because you're stuck in the house.
No. Where I am, there's no like mandates.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. Not yet. It's coming.
Anyways, okay, wrong subject.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I want to get you guys to see Venom now so you can get on board with Carnage. I don't
Yeah,
know. 'Cause
I
I
think
feel
they're
alone
doing-
right now.
They're doing I mean, it's hinting towards kind of a big Spider-Man universe crossover, right? Because in the Morbius trailer, I know that they had the Tom Holland Spider-Man in it painted on a wall in the background, and then Michael Keaton shows up at the end, and I'm pretty sure he's wearing the same stuff that he was wearing at the end of Spider-Man 1, the new Spider-Man 1. Pretty sure.
Yeah, because he played the Vulture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he was wearing his jail outfit, maybe, or maybe what he was wearing when he got out of jail. I don't know, something like that.
It's gonna happen. You know, especially with the deals they started working out. I think a couple of these, especially the next Far From Home, that's going to do a lot to start weaving in some of these, you know, auxiliary properties into the main MCU. Like, I think you'll start getting mutants and X-Men and all that getting into the same universe.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely leaning into that multiverse stuff because I'm pretty sure mutants have a deviant variant or deviant trait or something like that, whatever it's called, a gene maybe. I don't know. I saw ABJ tweet something about it, and I saw a lot of other people tweet something about it. For some reason, mutants with the X-Men, or I guess X people or whatever the hell they're gonna call it now.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
actually one of the things Kevin Feige came out and said. So
Yep.
everybody knows that's not a joke. He said the X-Men name is outdated, and he's thinking about saying just calling them the mutants. Which,
Yeah, and that's another thing. I love
Oh,
X-Men. I
yeah.
love the X-Men, and they're gonna, you know, they're gonna de-nut them essentially. So
Yeah.
I can care less what they do with it. That's why I'm not looking forward to any of that stuff because they're ruining all the source material.
yes.
Uh,
If they call it the mutants, I'm out, because that.
Yeah.
I know it's a name, but there's so much more that go into. They're called that because of Professor Xavier. Like, that's
Oppressor.
the entire.
Oppressor Xavier, you nailed it.
Professor.
You nailed it.
Yeah,
They're gonna rename him that, dude.
you know that's what's gonna happen too.
Das Calamity asked about the Flash movie. Am I looking forward to that?
Ugh.
No. And
No.
the reason why, if you look up the writer of that movie, ouch, not
Yeah.
good. But yeah, I've heard. I don't know. I have a feeling that I think that movie can be done really well. I'm not really big on the multiverse stuff anyway, but that could be done really well because Flashpoint is a really good comic, but I just don't think they're gonna perform.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. That's all I was gonna say.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that they're leaning into that so they can replace some of the actors that have aged out or no longer want to play the roles. You know, it's so now they can bring in a different Captain America and, you know, just say it's a multiverse. Okay, maybe that's the bad example because they're doing that with the Falcon and that's in universe. But you've got all those other characters that, you know, were killed off, and so it's a way to replace them, get a new actor, and say that, oh, this is because there's the multiverse, and now they're, you know, coming together.
Well, I was talking about the Flash movie in particular,
okay,
but I think the reason they're doing that is they want to erase. That's their way of erasing Snyder's universe. But
That too. Yeah. I really do not like Ezra Miller.
no,
I
he's
don't
annoying.
think he's good for the Flash.
Didn't he do some illegal stuff?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he choke slammed a pregnant woman.
Yeah, and it's
Like-
crazy how Johnny Depp gets fired immediately for allegations, but Ezra Miller gets special treatment for some reason. Wasn't he convicted as well? Like, he actually did it?
I think he got,
it
like,
is caught on
probation.
film.
Yeah.
You can go look up the film of him choke slamming a pregnant woman. This is
Oh,
on
what?
the internet.
He must have dirt on somebody to not get fired.
Okay, I think he's non-binary, so he got like a pass.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He threw that yellow card up.
He
in
could
the
just
air.
identify as a woman real quick and just be like, hey, look, it's not a man beating a woman, it's just a woman beating another woman. So get his charges
That's
up.
true.
He looked pretty masculine when he was throwing that down. That's all
Yeah,
I'm
but have you
saying.
seen him run though? I have.
Oh my god, that drove me nuts. That running, that is not that is not sprinting.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. But Yeah, I'm not a fan of the multiverse stuff. I think a lot of it just gets lazy and it's uncreative. You know, we've said this all time and time again. It's just like excuses at this point. You know, that way
It's
like when people die, if you got a multiverse you bring back, there's no weight involved. Like I don't know.
it's going to get messy too.
Yeah, I think a lot of your average fan is going to be like, what, you know, what's going on? What? I thought that guy died. Like, what's happening? You know
Yeah,
what
it's
I mean?
gonna be stupid, man. I'm always against alternate timelines, multiple universes. I'm always against that stuff. It just it takes all the weight out of everything that happens. Because it's like, okay, if there's a billion universes and this just happens in one of them, it doesn't really matter that much. We can just jump to the next one, and it could not happen. Something totally different could have happened.
Well, didn't the Loki show already determine? And I haven't watched Loki, so I just from hearsay anyway, that basically everything's predetermined. You don't have choice.
Not anymore though, because they ended up, spoiler alert, they ended up killing Kang. So Kang was the one that was kind of controlling everything. But of course, it wasn't Loki that killed Kang, though. It was the female Loki who defeated Loki and then killed Kang because they couldn't have Loki win his own show.
But
so
if there's multi-universes, can't they get another Kang?
Yeah, so now they have free will, but there's now unlimited Kangs.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, he's being set up for the next big villain. Like,
Yeah.
that's either that or Mephisto, because I don't know. Somebody said
so tired of
Mephisto
hearing that
was confirmed. Now, I watched that leaked trailer, but it was so grainy. I didn't know what I was seeing. You know,
Yeah.
I know I caught the Tobey Maguire and the different
What?
Spider-Mans and
Wait,
you
hold
had,
up.
Doc
You
Ock.
saw Tobey Maguire in there?
Yeah, in
I didn't notice him in there. The only one that I saw in there was, spoiler alert, everyone, Doc Ock at the end.
I came across. Oh, sorry, man. I'm just jumping on.
You might have watched
you're
a
good.
fan-made trailer or something, Yeti.
Maybe like that's. I came across a couple because I was trying to find the original source.
Where did you see Tobey Maguire? Like, what was he doing in the trailer?
Oh God, now I gotta go try and find which
Oh, it's
ones
okay.
I
I saw
watched.
some people looking at it, and they were saying that they saw him in a car that was like passing by.
Oh,
But then a lot of people were like, "No, that's not Toby." But I don't think there's any way, and I don't want them to. I don't want them to say that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are in it until the movie comes out. Because even though we all know that they're going to be in it, I still want that little bit of doubt in my mind, so that whenever they do reveal them on screen, it'll be a little bit better. I wish I wouldn't know at all, but we already know.
I hope
Is
they
the-
don't kill any of them. Maybe Tom Holland's is fine. Don't kill the other two.
Yeah,
I'll be pissed.
yeah.
I don't really
okay,
care about Andrew Garfield that much, but
Well, yeah, I don't think he did. He didn't do all right. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't that bad. Like,
no, I think if they would have, well, I don't know. I think that regardless, I was gonna say maybe if they swapped Toby and Andrew, then these movies would be better. But I think regardless, no matter who, even if Toby was in this situation, I think the movies would still be bad, in my opinion.
oh yeah,
I
don't think they're
this
good.
is definitely not a fan trailer that I'm watching.
I didn't see Toby in the one that I saw.
Okay, here I'm gonna share the link with you guys
Oh, okay, yeah.
because
Don't
I
don't
can't show it
anything
on
here.
screen because
No.
we know that will like end horribly.
Yeah, you'll have Disney kicking in
yeah.
your door.
So can't show that on. I'm trying to quickly watch to see if there was Tobey Maguire actually. Okay, yes, he's right there. He is right there in the one that I watched or watching right this second.
I'm
This is a
surprised it's
fan
still
made.
up.
This is a fan made one.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're
It-
showing
it's-
scenes from the previous, like, and the top comment is best fan made so far.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh,
this is
God,
fake.
that sucks.
The one that you see is like super grainy, and it's got a watermark through the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was gonna say the one that I saw was someone recording with a phone off of another person's phone.
Yeah, I watched that one too.
Yeah,
That's why I
the
didn't
one.
know which one was the leaked one.
Yeah,
Especially
this one
because
is
the
a-
way this one was captured, it looks.
This guy got 1 million views though, so good for
Yeah.
him.
Well, yeah, halfway to 2 million.
You got a better like to dislike ratio than I do on my videos. And he straight up lied in the title.
But
Yeah,
some
I
of the
don't see any.
footage.
I don't see any clickbait comments under here. What the hell?
Yeah, I talk about Marvel. I say that Shang-Chi is gonna lose money, and everyone's like racist. Like, calm down, Jesus Christ.
So
Can't
some
talk
of the
bad about
footage
Marvel.
shows multiple Spider-Mans. And I didn't
Yeah,
think
and-
that was released. Oh, yeah, there's a clip
No,
with 3 of them in there.
Yeah, it's fan made though. They just edited it in.
Dude, that would take a lot of work.
That's not real yet. They showed
Ah.
it's a bunch of footage from previous movies.
yeah, there's only one trailer, and the trailer, like I said,
Okay.
it has that watermark over the whole thing.
Then someone put a shit ton of work into this.
Yeah, they did.
I mean-
Because they've got, 3 of them swinging through the air on the same screen. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, I think the real trailer comes out like at 8.
couple-
Or,
Soon.
Jeffrey said it in chat. Less than half an hour.
Oh, it does come out tonight?
Yeah.
They kind of their hand got forced. I mean, it's pretty stupid. I probably
I wouldn't
yeah.
release the trailer until these 2 movies come out.
Well, the
at
person
least,
that I talked to, and he's been, dude, this guy, look, I'm not in the scooping business, so I never, my bad. I never make videos on this kind of stuff. But this
And
guy
it doesn't serve ice cream, so stop asking.
Shut up, man.
Scooping business. I'll take 2 scoops, please.
I don't work at Baskin Robbins, but anyway.
It's bad for your teeth, so.
Oh, God. But dude, I think a lot of people just have a lot of stuff that, like, a lot of inside info is being spread around about this movie like crazy. Like, for some reason, I guess it's because it's highly anticipated, but so many people know so much about this movie. And the guy that I was talking to said that it was going to be released at CinemaCon tonight, but that they weren't planning on releasing it to the internet yet.
Okay, there was another actor that seemed to confirm Tobey Maguire. Okay, I just need to remember his name. He was in one of the the
we've seen-
Spider-Man.
They have leaked set
Co-stars.
photos of them on set.
Yeah, well, this was an interview.
Oh,
Okay. Again, yeah, I'm gonna try and look it up because this is something I would be able to share. And I just spotted it today. So, okay, well, while I'm looking for this, are you guys excited for this one? Because I know we've kind of lost some interest in the others, but are you excited about this Spider-Man?
I mean, I'm excited to see what Toby's going to do in it.
yeah. It'll be
But-
cool to see like what they like because they're bringing in so many old characters. I'm pretty sure Electro is going to be in it. Somebody said another villain that I forgot. It's like
Green Goblin.
Doc Ock.
no, Doc Ock and Green Goblin are both in it, but there's another one too. It's like Pumpkin something.
Oh, the Hobgoblin?
Pumpkin something. It's Pumpkin. I think it's like it's 2 P words. I forgot what it's called. But they saw another
Peter
villain in there.
Parker.
Yeah, Peter Parker. No.
Peter Parker confirmed. Justin's like, I can't take you seriously anymore.
No, but I forgot what the villain's called.
No. Pumpkinhead? Can't be.
Well, because
Like Pumpkin Popper or something like that.
Pumpkin. Popper.
Hobgoblin
The
throws
Hobgoblin
pumpkins.
throws pumpkins, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Maybe I got trolled.
You probably got trolled.
Probably.
Like, I've never heard of a pumpkin popper. That sounds weird.
I know. That would not.
There's a jack-o'-lantern villain.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
it's
probably just got trolled.
Professor Pimple Popper.
God, that show disgusts me. The pimple popping shows. That's
Yeah.
I don't know how people sit there and watch that.
Oh. Okay. Okay. I think I found it.
The villain?
No.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited because these are some of the villains that got me to actually like the original Spider-Man movies, but that can be a bad thing at the same time. So it's kind of like a Kenobi show situation where I'm scared, but really excited at the same time, just to see the old people. I don't really care about the movie that much, but I'm just excited to see these characters again.
Okay. Here's the video.
Man, Jamie Foxx coming back, baby.
Oh.
Come on. What's up, Jamie?
JD Smooth.
Oh,
Dude right there.
Electro.
That's my dude right there, man. I'm excited. I'm very excited about it.
And last question I have for you: which Spider-Man were you excited to see Tom Holland share the screen with? Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield.
Woo! Oh, Tom McGuire, of course, man.
All right, there you go. Thank you so much, JB.
Of course, man. Jamie Foxx coming
He
back.
You
just
guys
throwing
just
him under the
so
bus.
casually.
Man.
He's just like, there you
That's my
go.
dude right
Yeah.
there. That's my dude right there, man. I'm excited. I'm very excited about it.
And last question.
Kevin Feige is just like,
Shaking.
yeah, he's finding a sniper rifle and he's calling out hits.
Yeah. That poor dude, he has no idea, man. He's
He's just having an interview. Like, oh, am I supposed to say this stuff? No. All right.
the guy asked him so casually, like, what a dirtbag. He's just like, oh, this guy doesn't know. I'm gonna prey on him, try to get a scoop.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I think we've been going for an hour and a half now, so I think it's about time to wrap this up. Do you guys have anything you want to plug or anything you got going on? Why don't we start with you, Matt?
No,
course.
just check out my channel. Yeah, right. No, best for last. No, I just, do news videos. I haven't done anything on the Spider-Man stuff because I was like, I don't want to, I never know. But no, I just do videos when I can and on news, pop culture, movie reviews, things like that. So, but no, check out my channel if you can. Appreciate it if you sub. I'm almost at 550. Been stuck at like 540 or something for a while, but yeah, just growing slowly. So.
Yeah, I mean,
You'll
I
get
pretty much
there.
do the same thing that Matt does. Originally started off just doing Star Wars videos, but now I pretty much do everything. Any kind of news that pops up, usually pop culture related, but sometimes I do some random videos here and there. But yeah, just kind of whatever I feel like making a video on that day.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe to both these guys. They're awesome creators, and thanks a lot for being here. If you're not subscribed to me, hit the subscribe. Jeez, I can't talk. Just subscribe.
Hit that subscribe button and that like button if you're here.
Yeah, do that. And consider becoming a channel member. I do live roasts with my channel members where they jump on with me, and we just roast a movie that we watch over on Discord. It's a ton of fun. Some of the most laughs I have in a month. So yeah, if you want to check that out, become a member, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, the roasts are fun. We just did one, me and Justin, with Yeti a couple weeks ago. That horrible space movie.
Yeah.
It was the worst movie I've ever seen in my life, but it was
Yeah, that
funny
was
making
bad.
fun of it. It was funny.
That was bad.
It was funny to make fun of it, though. So
I'm gonna do a couple more of those, but I'm gonna make some changes. Like I think I'm gonna pre-record those roasts so that, and then upload them so that I'm not like worrying about the chat and all these other elements. Like there's a couple things I think that they'll be able to help that out, make it even better. Even though it was so much fun.
yeah.
Like, anyways. Yeah, thanks everyone for being here. And Force Light just showed up right at the end, but thanks for dropping by, and thanks everyone else for being here. And we'll see everyone next week.
See you guys. Thanks for being
See
here.
you later.
Bye everyone. Oh girl, you just wish you was hot as me. That was a viper.